Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Don't want to see apostles and elders, great most on rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the work, sharing truth. Yeah. Got this article on the Guardian. Interesting one, because it's kind of you're having a conversation about online anonymity, and basically them switching up, the laws with like online and how you kind of interact with it. And this the attack we had over here, we had the MP. He got shanked following that the social media, linking your identity to your social media has come up again. I can't remember what it was that brought up the conversation before. I think they were talking about it in America, somewhat recently, but now they're talking about over here, and the internet is like, it's one of the big things that these elites, these guys that have control over all the what do they call it, not classical, they call it legacy media. They control like newspapers, radio stations, TV stations, movie studios. They basically have like money, power over those institutions. So they're kind of trying to limit the internet and kind of what you can do on there. Because why? Once you're dealing with the internet, you can get completely out of the ring of like popular kind of culture and media, to where you're not getting the news from like BBC, CNN, or Fox or whatever. You can just be getting it from like independent news. People just reporting independent news. You can just be going to like foreign news agencies like RT, and you're basically gonna be dealing with a different, like information that they're not gonna be as pleased with, with you knowing. And that's why as well it's like that anonymity side. They're basically like, and this is something that Facebook did initially. Like Facebook still does pretty well, where it's like it makes people kind of have their identity up there, where they're gonna be, what they're doing, all these things, and like these things are just out on the internet as well. So you can like that shit can just show up in like thingy searches, in Google searches, and then because of that, it's gonna be in like facial recognition systems, all these different government systems. They're just gonna be able to pull that shit off the net. So this is what PM urged to enact David's law against social media abuse after Amos's death. And yeah, they always use the angle of, it's for protection, it's for your own good, it's for defense. But that's the thing, is like it's mainly about control. It's about making them beholden to the government, basically beholden to the powers of the state. So they kind of have to comply if you're going to utilize that system. So this is what Boris Johnson is facing calls to enact David's law to crack down on social media abuse of public figures and end online anonymity in the wake of the killing of Sir David Amess. Yeah, just end online anonymity. And it's something, I can't remember what it was, man. I think it was like people just it was either on Twitter or YouTube or something, or just in the comments, just kind of, or maybe it was a general conversation or saying, oh, people can just go online and just say and do, like, say whatever they like, and then and then fuck off, and there's no kind of way to track them because they're just using like a username, and they're saying, oh, we need to have it linked, to their name, to their address, their bank account, all these things. So you can trace it back. This is what dozens of MPs paid tribute in the House of Commons on Monday to the veteran Conservative backbencher who was stabbed to death on Friday, shedding tears, sharing uproarious anecdotes, and venting anger over his death. While police, while police are investigating whether there are any links to let's just say, to T-Era, and have not connected the killings of the targeting of MPs online. Allies of MSA had voiced growing concern about threats and toxicity within public discourse as they demanded a crackdown. Yeah, so it's kind of just like throwing it in there, even though it's not really related. Because why? It's the opportunity. You don't waste a crisis. Basically, say like, hey, look, you got this extreme situation. It's like, well, now we should do this. This thing that's unrelated, but that I'd like push through. So it says campaigners have warned, however, that ending online anonymity could put whistleblowers and pro-democracy campaigners in authoritarian regimes at risk. Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, told the Commons that civility and political matters, but we must not lose the sight of the fact that David's killing was an alleged act of T-Era on the streets of our country. Mark Francois, who described a mess as one of his close friends and his political mentor, vowed he would dedicate his time in Parliament to overhauling the rules governing social media. Okay. Yeah, so he said MPs should radically toughen up the pending online harms bill to prevent trolls and other abuse. Yeah, maybe it was about that bill. I think it was. Because they kind of say like it's about protecting people from getting from getting abused, from getting whatever online. But it's the way it's doing these things is basically by just revealing absolutely everyone on the face of the earth who they are behind their account, which then what does it do? It allows everything to be traceable, and that's the thing. It's like you have, and well, those things come with repercussions. Then it's basically like what you post online is going to be traced back by the government and be able to be done by your employers, man. You say something they don't like, they'll just fire you. Yeah. It says in the last few years, David had become increasingly concerned about what he called the toxic environment in which MPs, particularly female MPs, were having to operate in. He was appalled by what he called the vile misogynistic abuse which female MPs had to endure online, and he told me very recently that he wants something done about it. Francois, the MP for Red, well, yeah, that's, saying, oh, women are getting abused. He called her a bitch online. And that's the thing, is like, people are going to do that. And the funny thing is like, Facebook already has people's names, has an address, has a workplace, has a school, has a whatever. People will still go online and put and like post all kinds of madness, man. Yeah, like earlier this year, what's happened? It's happened multiple times. Yeah, people post like I think it was after after the fucking England match, man. After you had Jake miss a penalty, a few Jakes missed penalties. Like there was just bare racist shit. Like man were just saying all kinds of racist shit online, and then men were just like, and the funny thing is like these guys had their faces, their names, where they work, their addresses, all that. Well, not their addresses, just like what part of the country they're in. So people calling up their workplaces, getting them fired. So that's the thing. It's like once all the info's out there, then yeah, people are gonna just be like, oh shit, okay, you're saying that, and then doing madness. And that's the thing. It's all this is leading into that famine of the word, man. Because that's really what. And that's the thing. It's like if everything out there is linked back to link back to you, link back to your identity, then it's people can be categorized for those who are coming against the present regime as it's being pushed, as these elites are moving. They're basically looking to no, they're utilizing the media to kind of get people's minds in a certain place, which they are, and that's the thing. The internet is something that those who hold power have had an issue against for a while, and they've been coming at it, and this is one of the ways. Fucking long article. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High Power, that will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Jehovah. Yeah, that's where it's going. All this, these different regulations coming in, these different protocols, and that's the thing as well. You can look at like the YouTube community guidelines, these things, and all these rules that they basically have, where it's kind of like expanded from just like telling someone, or even before, telling someone to fuck off wasn't even like sign where you're gonna get your account locked. You'd have to be doing like threatening their life or doing a madness. And then now it's like you say something not in line with the message. You basically say certain things that are not desired by those in power, and then you start getting locked off. You start going against the narrative of what's going down with this pandemic, with the C-19, with the Max. All these things you speak against it. Then there's a lot of protocols in these social media sites where they'll just start chopping shit off. That's why you'll have like YouTube, they'll have the little blue box underneath that says like, oh, blah blah blah, check out this to find out about this. I know they have it for like for the shots and for C-19 and for well, I ain't even gonna say it because global warming as well. Like these things are you'll kind of get those, like you'll get your shit flagged. So yeah, this is how Esau deals, man. He categorizes researchers and he gets people into boxes. And it's like he likes to keep track of who what people are doing, so he can then bring in consequences and repercussions against people. But yeah, the word is what's being aimed at, because it's the word going out that's doing the greatest harm to Esau and his elites, man. This present world as it is, it's chipping away at the facade. It's basically these guys, their dreams of their new world order. They're like, these prophecies are gonna frustrate that. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.